However, you can usually quite easily counter the living armor with heroes that do a lot of tick damage, like Slark, Venomancer, Darkseer, or something like that. That just break through the instances of living armor. Magnus ban coming out. Magnus is a super strong hero, and they've obviously seen a couple of Magnuses being played in this tournament itself. Not to mention this meta. Lena ban coming out as well. Lena extremely strong laner, can progress to a very, very strong late game carry. High right click damage and also high spell damage. So she's just pure damage, really. She is quite squishy at the start, but she can itemize lots of strong items like Octarine, Scepter, Bloodstone. That can just make her quite tanky, and she's extremely formidable once she gets enough right-click damage behind her, so you can never really discount her late game. Crystal Maiden pick coming out from the boys in the Goon. Really nice, strong pick up here. Strong laning hero. Great aura, global presence. Also has an extremely strong teamfight ult. Now she's going to basically be the babysitter of the safe lane generally, or she's going to be the babysitter of the aggressive lane. Now, by babysitter of the aggressive lane, she doesn't actually help make sure that her team stays alive if she's in an aggressive lane. She actually just generally does the opposite. She makes sure the enemy team dies with a nice root coming out there with Frostbite and a nice slow coming out with Cube. Lion pickup coming in there, kind of a counter support there. Lion is a very difficult hero to play. And I do mean difficult in the sense that his actual skills aren't that difficult to play, but to make him as useful as he should be, say for example the Crystal Maiden versus the Lion has to do a lot more to make himself useful, whereas Crystal Maiden just gets level 2, pops the aura on, and she's instantly benefiting her entire team in this oddly supportive manner. It's just amazing. Whereas Lion has to run around, gank, make sure lane's doing well, and not steal kills. Nice synergistic Legion Commander pick coming up here. Lion's ultimate plus Legion is extremely powerful, not to mention the 2 disables that will help Legion Commander get duels, hopefully, before she gets her Blink Dagger, allowing her to snowball just that little bit quicker. Now, Legion Commander and a Crystal Maiden is actually a powerful pick. Legion Commander can just blink and pick off Crystal Maiden, instantly gone, and that's a decent amount of your team fight and quite a bit of lockdown. Now, the opposite can also occur, whereas if Legion Commander's dueling, Crystal Maiden come in a Frostbite, and Legion Commander can't do jack for the period of Frostbite, and so the duel can generally be swayed both ways depending on the Crystal Maiden. So there's a strange interaction there. Duel itself, as far as Legion Commander goes, is basically why she's picked. She's also picked for her Q, which is an extremely powerful nuke for more and more heroes. It's one of my favorite heroes, so we'll definitely see in how she's played. She can be played in the offlane, mid, or safe. Generally, offlane is the best place, or safe lane as well if you've got a strong lineup. An aggressive offlane with her is extremely potent. Her line and Visage or something ridiculous like that, basically you just won that tri-lane straight away. You've got 2 range heroes that do lots of damage. Axe, a really nice strong counter coming up. However, Legion Commander and Axe sort of fit the same roles. Axe is an anti-initiator. If they pick any more melee, Axe will just become stronger and stronger, just because of the fact of counter Helix and Berserker's Call. So Axe blinks in, Berserker's Call, tries to get like a large fight off, big initiation, and then tries to pick off one hero or maybe do enough damage that he can disrupt the team fight in a large enough manner that the rest of the team can essentially come in and finish them off. Legion Commander is a similar sense, except she's a 1v1. She will blink in, duel one person, hopefully get that kill off pretty quickly. The team will focus that one person down, and then they'll move on to the rest, and it's a 4v5. While duel is down, that is the only reason for duel. That and pick-offs. So an anti-mage pickup would be absolutely ludicrous right now for the team on the die, because anti-mage would be forced to buy a Legacy, which slows down his farm and slows a lot of other things down. Not to mention there's a lot of disable in the form of the line. A nice strong Ursa van coming out there. Ursa actually does beat Legion Commander in some aspects. It's one of those sort of catch-22s as well. If Ursa gets enough farm, he will absolutely smash the Legion Commander. If Legion Commander gets more farm, she can go for a Blade Mail and blink duel him, and he basically kills himself. Nice Invoker ban coming out from the boys in the Goon. Invoker, very strong hero. Basically just a teamfight god if you've got a good enough player on him. He's extremely potent against heroes like Lion and Legion Commander because of the Sunstrike. So Legion Commander could duel, and anywhere on the map he can Sunstrike to aid his team in essentially maybe turning that duel around. Not to mention he has a Tornado, EMP, a lot of other things. When Legion Commander sets up, she sets herself up and another hero. So any hero that sets 2 heroes in the same place really benefits an Invoker who just would love that. Essentially, just you stay there while I just throw my spells at you. Now, Blade Mail is actually quite a good counter to him, but he's still an Invoker, so he'll be very, very difficult to deal with. Strong laning presence as well, so it looks like Lena and Invoker are going to be out. It's probably going to be like an OD or something picked up mid. Juggernaut and Dazzle being banned up really, really quickly. Dazzle, extremely powerful hero, very hard counter to Legion, so it looks like they're sort of drafting around the Legion here. Quite happy about that, actually. Dazzle is one of those ridiculous heroes that you blink in, you duel, and then Dazzle just graves, and that's it. You don't have to worry about the duel anymore, and
10 seconds
duel
to
essentially
go.
is like a 4-second, 5-second disable. It's still
5
also, it
seconds.
does absorb the dazzle save, not to mention a few other things. The dazzle has to keep the hero alive.
Reserve time.
But you can essentially just ignore the hero from Legion and then just focus on the rest of the team. And so if you've got a strong 4v4 team, Dazzle is actually a really strong pickup counter to Legion, not to mention a very strong lane hero. Juggernaut ban coming out. Juggernaut, very strong hero in lane as well. He just sort of progresses really strongly throughout all periods of the game. He's quite weak until he gets quite a few items. And so Juggernaut is actually a really interesting ban because you generally wouldn't pick a Juggernaut into an Axe because Axe actually does counter Juggernaut quite hard in lane and in the mid game. Juggernaut does beat him late. A nice Pugna pick coming up here, sort of a high push lineup, looking like it from the boys of the Lettuce Radiant team. Pugna, basically, Netherward is overpowered. It's such an insanely powerful skill for team fights. Netherward pops down and it disables a lot of blinks if you try to pre-buff yourself. So Axe blinking in and calling will get a bit of a burn there, but if Axe does anything before he goes in and like activates any of his spells, his blink gets disabled. Not to mention the Crystal Maiden will get absolutely destroyed by this. Now Nyx Assassin as well, same principle here. If Nyx Assassin casts any spells within the range, he'll get instantly zapped. And also, Pugna is an extremely high intelligence hero, so Nyx is a very strong counter pickup here. Mana Bone alone will probably just one-shot Pugna if he decryptifies himself. Pugna, pure nuke. There's really no right-click damage on this hero. He's just all about the magic burst. So an Axe is actually an interesting pickup. Pugna is actually an interesting pickup against an Axe. Nyx Assassin is just a hard counter on that, really. Scarrath Mage would be a suicidal pick now if the boys in the Goon wanted to. However, the Pugna does only limit a few heroes out of the pool. Juggernaut, once again, going back to that, Juggernaut is basically sort of hinting at they're going for this massive gank lineup. Crystal Maiden, Axe mid-game, Crystal Maiden early game, Nyx kind of mid-early-ish, progressing into late, being just a pain in the ass little bug, crawling around, not being able to be seen. So it looks like they're going for a massive gank squad on the gank lineup on the Goon squad. And they're probably going to move on a little bit later to probably get like a nice heavy carry in there, something like a Spectre or a Terrorblade or something like that. But something that has insane power but needs and requires a lot of space to be created, which the Nyx Assassin, Crystal Maiden, and Axe are very likely to do. The team Lettuce probably going for a much stronger sort of laning presence as well. The ganks doesn't really seem like it, but they've got high push and high anti-push. Legion Commander plus Pugna plus Lion is actually very, very strong for pushing. And there's the Drow, so that sort of cements them into this massive push lineup. They can't really back out of this now. If they do, they'll face really, really tough time because the Axe will actually just be able to counter-initiate a few things. Currently, the two cores, Legion Commander and Drow Ranger, on Lettuce side, we haven't seen too many cores picked up except for maybe the Axe. The Legion Commander and the Drow Ranger actually will work insanely well together because Drow Ranger likes to sit back and Legion Commander likes to get in there in the fray. Axe also likes to get in there in the fray, and so if Axe actually sort of can't jump to the back lines with the Drow is actually just going to destroy the entire Dire side, given that they get equal farm and they get good positioning. The Pugna is also there to prevent anyone from sort of pushing forward and also to keep the Drow alive if she does get caught out. Lion's also there just for safety's sake and probably good laning. The thing that we also need to know, Drow Ranger, Pugna, and Lion all do pretty damn good right-click damage. Lion, not so much, but with the Drow Aurora he will. But Pugna actually has 4 intelligence growth, which is insane, so his right-click's going to get pretty powerful. And if he goes in the mid or something silly like that, he will essentially be able to outlane the mid laner, depending on the pick, obviously. If it's an OD, yeah, he's kind of screwed. But the Drow Ranger is a really strong pickup here, and if they get another ranged hero, another ranged support maybe, or a ranged offlaner, it'd be very, very powerful. Push lineup, just so they'll be able to sit back and wail on towers. Yeah. And so there it is. A really strong mid pickup here. Outlaw Devourer, core, hard carry. Also, a good initiator and a good sort of team fighter. So the boys of the Goon Sec are kind of going toward this really strong duel, duel, but we're going to come find you and we're going to come basically kill you, and then we're going to move on to the next, and we're going to try and take you in sort of a numbers game with Axe blinks in, instant kill, Crystal Maiden's just rolling around, Nyx Assassin finds a target and they just pick it off easily, and they can nuke it down quickly and turn it into a pretty easy fight, which is kind of what the Legion Commander wants to do, but is sort of in the opposite as well. Now another thing to mention is Outlaw Devourer is a really good counter to Legion, because Legion blinks in and duels, and all you do is you astral your hero, and now a Legion Commander can only lose the fight. A bit of an interesting ban coming up there from the Anti-Mage. There's pretty much I don't think an Anti-Mage would be picked in this lineup it is a strong pickup in the Apple Devour in like maybe one sense. That's if he gets a BKB, but otherwise it's a very, very bad pickup
10
against an
seconds
Apple
to
Devourer.
go.
It's a strong pickup in general because they don't have much lockdown. They
5
still have quite
seconds.
a bit. Next stun, Root from Crystal Maiden, and the
Nice
Outlaw
turn.
Devourer. So they just go for the Wraith King pickup.
Radiant's
Okay,
pick.
so I was just about to say the anti-mage ban is probably like a safety ban, not actually a ban because they think they're going to pick it. So we'll see what the boys on the list have to respond to this. The last two core pickups for the boys in the Goon Tech are actually huge. Two massive, massive heroes.
10
Outlaw
seconds
Devourer,
to
just a
go.
massive DPS hero, just like, loves right-clicking heroes and just team
5
fighting,
seconds.
popping his R and destroying enemies. Wraith King loves getting into this fray, just really being in there with Axe, and also his aura is
Reserve
amazing.
time.
Not to mention, he'll come back to life after a while and slow the
10
entire enemy
seconds
team
to
down,
go.
giving the boys in the Goon Tech time to reposition and possibly destroy. And there it is, the Visage pickup. I was just about to say, Visage Drow Strat with the push. OMG, we haven't seen this in a long time, guys. This is actually going to be an extremely interesting game. It's kind of like the old meta versus the new meta, with this super hardcore push where we're going to try and end the game by 20-30 minutes, where we just have a massive advantage and you can't keep up, which is actually a very strong play. Axe needs to get that Blink Dagger and be able to come in. Axe is strong against as a very strong counter to push lineups, but next Assassin, Owl's Fire, and Wraith King, these guys all need farm. Wraith King's ult has a massive cooldown, and so does Outlaw Devourer. If they can essentially force these out in team fights, they might lose the team fight. But if they come right back into it, they'll probably take a couple of towers in that time. And if they can actually force the enemy team to not get enough farm, Lettuce will come through with this with a quite convincing win. And you also got Lion, Pugna, Drow, and Visage, who
10
all
seconds
benefit
to
from
go.
Drow's aura. So laning phase is essentially going to be a piece of piss for the boys in Lettuce, hopefully.
5
Legion Commander is a
seconds.
strong laner as well. The only hero I feel a bit sorry for is the one that has to verse the Outlaw Devourer. Wraith King is pretty tough, but if they have what I'm thinking is actually going to happen, where they got OD mid, Nyx, Crystal Maiden, and Wraith King in an aggressive off lane, and then you got Axe in the safe lane, that's actually a really strong laning presence, because Axe is basically going to have the time of his life against possibly a Legion Commander off lane or something. But the Drow Ranger, I'm thinking is going to be mid, or the Pugna. You could send the Visage mid, but Visage is one of those heroes that he wouldn't benefit so amazingly well from the levels as he would just in a lane. He's much more potent early game. You would just be wasting that essentially. Oh, and here we go. Come on, you slack pieces of shit. Support esports. None of you have the compendium. You useless bastards. Oh, come on. At least get the 75 or just buy the regular level 1. Alright. So we've got the game starting up here just on the Dire side. We've got the boys in the Goon. Nice strong lane sitting up here, and we'll see what's going to happen. And then we've got the essential Lettuce team coming out on this on the Radiant side. Graphics going to be having a bit of a hissy fit as that. I might need to reconnect at some point, but that's not too much of an issue. So it'll be interesting lanes coming up here. Now I do have a few of the upgrades, and I wonder if they'll come through. So here we go. Nice little timer for the Roshan and the scan. Roshan is up, apparently, start of the game. A nice little smoke coming out here from the boys in the Dire as well. Goonsec just sort of, realizing they've got extremely strong level 1 potential. So they've got a really strong level 1 potential here with the Root, the Wraith King stun, the next stun, the OD, the OD right click, and so he's got an Astral Imprisonment. Yeah, poor man's Dota. Right, and then we've got the Axe with a nice call. So they've got a lot of lockdown, and if Drow gets caught out, she's just dead. She needs to get gusts, and that'll basically ruin that. Run their gank, but they'll probably still get it just off the fact of the massive stuns. As long as they don't stack the stuns, they'll be fine. With the smoke, they're basically going to guarantee the kill on this Drow if they play it right. Now, the Drow can spot them and run, but she's got lower move speed than the Wraith King, who... Oh, sorry, no, she's got about the same moves as Wraith King, and the next... They will eventually be able to catch her. They just need to play it right where they come around. There is nobody here for the Drow either. So the Drow is fully on her own. She's got the old stock standard build, which is going to go straight for a Bassi probably, just to increase the damage, and then maybe go straight to a Wraith Band and boost the damage for the rest of the team. So she can't skill yet, because if she does, she's almost guaranteed to die. We got the Lion coming out here. He's just going for a stock standard buying your support stuff, and then a Windlace. Windlace amazingly powerful in support heroes, guys. I would suggest getting this and also support items. You don't actually need anything else in lane as a support. Now you can have other things obviously, but needing it's pretty. Looks like we're gonna start up the game again. Okay, so somebody's coming back after alt-tabbing for some unknown reason. Pugna just going here for some minor regen and a bit of life regen. Looks like he just sold his mango. Swapping it up a little bit, swapping it up. Move speed is really important on a lot of those heroes. Okay, so it looks like Drought Ranger actually sitting in a really nice comfortable position. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, this is like Jaws music. We need to play some Jaws music here. And yes, she's so dead. They need to just run around. Yeah, she's just gone. Bye-bye. She can try and level up Gus, but she's just dead. Well played to the boys there. Don't have the applause. Unfortunately, I can't put my my funny little sounds on, guys, but otherwise I'd put that applause on. So that was really well played from the boys in Goon, recognizing that their level 1 is much stronger. If they pick one hero off, that's gone. And this is what I kind of foresee for the rest of the game. Them just running around as 5, trying to pick that one hero off. The boys, the lettuce crew, if you will, they want to do that as well. They want to do that with the Legion Commander, but they want to do that mid. They really, what they currently want to do right now is just go for a hard push and just eventually move into the so it's a Visage mid, and then move into this strong, unbeatable death ball, and just force the bad team fight ults from the enemy where they just have to. So we've got a Pugna Lion and Drow Rain lane. That's an interesting lane. Large magic, large disable, and large right click. I'm okay with that. It's interesting. In the Legion Commander offlane, that's just pretty standard. Legion Commander versus Axe, I kind of give that to the Legion Commander, actually. Depending on who can control the lane better, but if the Axe controls the lane and gets a couple of lucky spins in level 1, yeah, he's going to win. Okay, so if you go for Moment of Courage level 1, you can actually sort of contest against the Axe once you get to a couple of levels on you, because Axe relies on the enemy creeps moving around, and so do you. Ooh, looks like he's got a quick engagement coming out here. Crystal Maiden basically just going to whittle down the Pugna. Now he's got a lot less health than the rest of the heroes, so Pugna really doesn't want to be anywhere near them. They really want the Lion, unfortunately, to be on the front lines, maybe tanking with the Drow as well. But they've got 3 ranged against 2 melee in a range, so they should be able to just zone the enemy, and their positioning is going to be really important. Mid lane, the Visage versus the OD. Visage is probably better in the early game, as you can see. Visage just being able to sort of out-harass him with the Gravekeeper. Okay, it looks like nearly got to death. Yeah, it looks like Lion's going to go down here. Yep, one more hit and Lion is dead. And so the boys in the Goon essentially just securing their lane dominance. Now, they've got nothing else in lane. They've got to have to regen and pop a bit back, but they've still got the kill, and they've got a massive experience lead now. That's it doesn't seem like much, but on a tri-lane you level a lot slower. So actually what the best option here to do is really just to leave the Lion in the Drown lane and just leave them to do their thing. Send the Pugna to go jungle or something. The Pugna pickup is a very odd pickup. It's a very cheesy niche pickup, and you need to be able to just initiate really well on it. And they don't know the Nyxes in the jungle there, but they do know that the Wraith King's in lane, and if they'd seen the Crystal Maiden leave, once the Crystal Maiden leaves, that's an easy kill. You should be able to get that guy easy, but they don't know. Oh, so they know the Nyx is actually in there. Crystal Maiden just stealing their rune. Visage, really strong pickup here. Unfortunately, Visage does sort of get, not really hard countered, but he does get countered a bit by the OD once the OD starts getting to the point, because he can throw all the stuff down on you and you just, you astral him and then all the damage ticks go away. So he'll never be able to get that massive burst and that powerful kill that he will in the Tron lane. The Pugna would have actually been a better pickup there just because it's kind of like a lost lane, so you're giving up the lane. And Pugna can also force the OD back with a large magic damage there, so it looks like Legion Commander not really doing too well in that top lane. Getting a bit of farm. She's the top net worth here on the Radiant, but as far as the rest of the Dire side go, the Dire is absolutely stomping here. They're doing an extremely good job on this tri-lane here. Wraith King keeping the denies up. You really want to do that in a tri-lane. Denies are extremely important. Denies, experience, and things like that are experience is worth more than the actual last hits, because you build a tri-lane for last hits. Aggressive tri-lanes are for generally killing enemy heroes, but defensive tri-lanes, if they can't get any last hits, not to mention if they just don't get any experience, their tri-lane is absolutely suffering. Like they built these heroes, they picked these 3 heroes to win this tri-lane, and they're not. So the more that you can essentially force them to lose their tri-lane, the better. And Wraithkin getting a decent amount of time here. Now Gravekeeper's Cloak is actually pretty strong against the OD. He will have to hit a couple of times before the tick start going away, but he doesn't really do that much damage. Oh yeah, see, so you can go for the Grave Chill if you want. He's just going to astral you and then wait till it finishes, and he's absolutely fine. So OD, extremely strong pickup here. He is taking a bit of damage, but the The Visage isn't going for a bottle or anything like that, so the OD probably go for a bottle and just heal up here. Oh, sorry. Lion getting a bit picked off there. And this is the problem. They've got a much stronger lineup in the terms of, yeah, and there goes the Pugna, and the Drow's probably going to go down soon. So Nyx actually is much tankier than them. They have an extremely weak lineup. It's a strong lineup for like maybe 1 or 2 reasons. Okay, and that's a dead Drow, so, oh wow, nice stun from the Lion. They're getting 2, but no, it looks like she's just going to barely survive that. Nyx Assassin going down is a nice counter kill there from the Lion, so well played. Nyx Assassin does go down, but they do have a much stronger lineup in the sense that they've got 2 melee who can block a lot more damage and have more armor, so right clicks actually don't do a lot of damage, and as I was saying before, the deniers are hurting them more than you'd believe because they can't get levels, so they can't get their magic damage up. Pugna does a lot of magic damage, but not that much. Yeah, okay, now this is a smart plan. Send the Pugna top because Axe is weak to magic but is strong to physical, so this will give the Legion Commander a really strong lane, and she'll be able to come in and later on and just help the Drow later on. So they've kind of abandoned this Drow in bottom, which is a good option. Once it's losing. Oh, it looks like the Gravekeeper's Cloak actually. Oh, that's a dead OD. Don't know what he was doing there. I think he was just waiting to kind of realize he was dead. So unfortunately, a little bit of a misplay there from the OD. He hasn't got his bottle. It looks like he decided to change his options up. But Visage essentially getting a nice, sorry, not Gravekeeper's Cloak. What do I keep calling that? The Grave Chill. Sorry, he got a nice Grave Chill on the on the Owl Devourer, and essentially just whittled him down because he couldn't right click. So when that happens, you kind of have to save your Astral Imprisonment for that. So you don't want to be too aggressive with him because the Astral Imprisonment actually doesn't do that much damage to him. It's really more of a defensive thing, and you're not going to be able to kill him just because that, yeah, exactly, he's just going to be able to run away. Now that extra right click, yeah, would have killed him, but you're maybe not going to ever get that because he's got boots and he's just too fast. So nice sort of adaptation here, just going, yeah, look, let's just stick the Lion and the Drow in the lane because they can do that together, and we'll toss the Pugna up top, who will basically make the Axe's life a living hell. Because the Axe actually was doing pretty well up until now, and he still is doing pretty well, but the Legion's just slowly eked out a nice little victory. Oh, and a little bit of a miss stun there from the Nyx. Nice Spike Carapace just reflecting the damage from Lion's stun. Funny enough, the damage only occurs when he lands, which, if you want to kill steal, that's something, I guess. Drow and Lion gonna run for the rune there. Looks like they kind of realize that Jesus likes to go for the rune. Drow should actually go for that because she has to do that. She has to go and get farmed. So running around doing nothing like this, she should really be right clicking now the creeps down, try and flash on with it there. Looks like a nice Gravekeeper's Cloak out. Okay, so Visage is level 6. And Undying, oh sorry, not Undying, Owl Devourer is not, and looks like he's going to cancel his TP. That's a bit of a bad move. Okay, so Visage. Oh no, Visage Bird's getting hit by the stun, so they could possibly get down, but the Orb of Venom damage not killing them. Legion Commander is mid. I guess he's mid to try and get a duel. Grave Shield is actually really powerful with this, but he's just been healed up, and they don't realize that there's a Nyx Assassin there. So, oh, hey Nyx! And so the Nyx and the Crystal Maiden are both there. She's gonna have to purge herself, but she doesn't have overwhelming odds. I mean, so she does have overwhelming odds at not any purge, so she's gonna have to be a bit careful there when she comes. Oh, nice overwhelming odds. They're basically just about killing them. So if Visage had a Soul Assumption, he'd essentially just have won that lane. So Visage doing extremely powerful mid. Nice little rotation from the Legion Commander with the high levels coming in to just sort of counteract that. Crystal Maiden and Nyx are not actually at a high level compared to the Legion Commander, who's nearly got overwhelming odds maxed. So overwhelming odds is extremely powerful. Just more heroes in lane. Drow getting a little bit of farm there. So Visage just screamed up the net worth charts with those basic double kill there, and now he's got a medallion of courage. Now Visage also, once he hits level 6, he turns into this tyrant, if you will. I like to call him a tyrant because he's just going to run around the lane and everyone's scared of him. Just because if he's good with his birds, which it looks like he actually is with the stuns, he will be able to farm where you can't. He'll be able to kill you pretty quickly. They also do the massive amount of damage based off the Drow Ranger aura, which doesn't affect him right now, but if Drow and Visage get a bit of teamwork going, which I'm assuming they probably will at some point, that's just basically going to be a huge amount of damage. And it looks like, oh, Visage just barely going to save his birds there. Nothing super serious going on. A nice little smoke gank coming out from Nyx and Crystal Maiden. Trying to get a gank on this Visage, realizing that, hey, we can't let this guy get out of control because he's a bit powerful. He does not know that they're there. He's got a nice medallion of courage, which is pretty good. Okay, smoke being broken from Nyx. Nyx probably going to try and go to stun. Ah, nice whiff of the stun there. Legion Commander going to be really happy with that, and she should be okay. Oh, very well played there by the Pugner, essentially decrepifying just to force no counter helix spins so that Legion Commander couldn't actually attack. Not to mention she was immune to physical. She could have taken more magic, but she'd bursted all the magic. So there's 4 boys, 4 Goon sacks top, and that basically gives Drown and Lion a free lane. So nice space created there by the tri-lanes. So recognizing, hey, let's get our winning tri-lanes to win some more, and our losing tri-lanes are basically going to lose, so let's just stop worrying about that. Okay, nice little Visage birds here, so mid and off lane, kind of going back into the favor of Lettuce here. Really well played as well, except the problem is the Wraith King. He's got a Midas, he's powered. He's going to be hitting that level 12 ultimate pretty soon, which drops down to 2. So if at the start of the draft I basically said that if the boys in the Goonsack can actually get a much higher net worth at a certain point, they'll just start destroying. Their heroes really love farm. They need farm. Once they get farm in the mid game, then they'll start pushing and everything will be good. Oh, looks like he's going to lose a Visage Bird. Oh, it's 100 gold going away. Unfortunately, just going to miss that. Feeding away 100 gold to the OD is probably not what you want to do, so it's going to give him a bit more net worth in there. But he is struggling quite a bit. And so the boys on Goon really want to just sit back, farm, get a bit of experience going, and then eventually move into this super strong lineup that's just insane with pickoffs and team fight. And you essentially pick them off, and if they try to counter you with a team fight, you've got a stronger team fight, so you just destroy them. Whereas Lettuce squad are probably going to be going for the more pick-off orientated, the Lion, Visage, massive damage, and the Drow, who's just going to try and push as hard as possible. Visage and Drow is an extremely strong push lineup. However, they're going to need to get a bit of farm in there as well, but not as much. So you're looking at mid-game timing for the boys like Goon, and that's when you'll see kind of determine who's going to win and who's going to lose. Okay, so let's see if Nick's going to land a stun. Oh no, very nice control with the birds. Basically just guaranteeing that. Oh, okay, nice soul assumption there. Unfortunately going to hit a creep, so a bit of a bad play there. Okay, nice duel coming off there. This could be the first duel, but like I said, yeah, Odie can just astral, and you can only lose that duel. You can never win that duel. Okay, just got to get the OD. Looks like, oh no, not going to get the OD. Barely missed that. Very nice little engagement coming in. No one really dying. The Visage Bird actually is already going to go down, and that's a couple hundred gold just given feeding away there. And it's nice soul assumption there from Visage to try and get a counter kill, but the Nexus Assassin was really low, and the Astral basically saved him from feeding dual damage. And then the Legion Commander nearly died, and the OD nearly died, and it was a really good fight, but no one really came out of that one on top. It just sort of traded blows, and there were less heroes for the Radiant side, so the Drow is still farming freely here, but I feel like this pulling of all these heroes here to the mid is essentially going to hurt it's going to hurt the boys in the Goon in the long run. Oh, Conor McGregor here getting all UFC ready and shit, just fully going ham. This is what I'd like to see. Early point in reincarnation, just in case they catch him out, just to prevent that lack of farm, and also to give his team the ability to maybe come in. Looks like he's going to get a bit aggressive here. I don't know what you can do, man. You can just, yeah. You can basically turn it on you instantaneously, and he's going to force the trigger of, oh, just barely not forcing. That was definitely calculated. Just barely not forcing reincarnation, because that cooldown is massive. OD basically just harassing, but there's three heroes mid. Sorry, 4 dire heroes mid, and Drow is having the time of her life. Okay, so these heroes need to leave. Like, they just need to leave and let OD do his thing. Because Crystal Maiden and Nyx Assassin are just going to have to do something. So Axe is going to blink in, probably get a call off, and then the birds are going to do something, and it's not going to be good. Looks like Legion Commander doesn't have a blink, getting close, so Axe has beat it to that. Yep, nice. Okay, so nice 2 stuns coming out there from Visage just harassing. And it looks like, yeah, they finally realized that they need to get to Drow. She's actually had a little bit too much free time here, so it looks like Axe is going to come in and blink call. Oh, nice gust there, really awesome gust. That's gonna avoid the kill. So a little bit of slack, I guess you could call that, from Dunner's bro there. No, blinking as a sort of preemptive blink and calling. And also really well played by the Drow, realizing the axe is going to come from that direction. If I gust in that direction, as soon as I see him, I should be fine. So I think she gusted in that direction as soon as she saw him, and he blinked into it, which is a little bit interesting, but it's just basically a little bit of misplay from Axe and a little bit of pro play from Drow Ranger there, whether it was accidental or intentional. Drow not even going to go for the Ring of Aquila. That's actually an extremely powerful pickup on Drow, just because of the stats that you get and the damage you actually get from it. Not to mention the mana regen and the push potential. Maybe someone else on the team has gotten a Ring of Basilius, so she's not going to move to it, but it doesn't actually look like it, so I feel like it's a little bit of a misplay from Drow, unless it's on the courier. No, sorry, it doesn't look great. Okay, yeah, definitely go for Ring of Aquila. You never not go for it. So Lion just sitting here absorbing a little bit of solo XP, and basically everyone just sort of farming and moving away, and the game is evened out a little bit from that really bad early start that Lettuce had. Oh, okay, is Legion gonna get here? She's got the blink, so she's going to get the duel off, but I don't think that they're going to get the damage. There's no way. And then there's the counter initiation from Max. However, there is a Drow Ranger on the team, so you can't let that happen. Oh, Drow and Legion getting stunned in this nice double stun. And this is where the teamfight ult's probably going to come in. If Odie drops the hammer, oh, Visage with these amazing birds, basically. Yeah, bye. Drow Ranger getting picked off there, Lion getting a nice double stun in there. Visage basically going to be able to get the counter kill on Odie, which is worth more. And then probably going to get the kill on the oh, very nice bird stun there, and he gets the kill on CM just before he dies, which is really good. But the Wraith King is still alive, and he hasn't been able to do anything. He can actually right click if he wants. He's not going to be able to out damage and out heal the Pugna. It looks like Axe just going to chase down the Lion and get a nice pick off there, and Conor McGregor going to die because he doesn't have the mana for his reincarnation. So well played from Pugna realizing that. He either got really lucky or he realized that. So he's just gonna get sort of just killed here. Yeah. Pugna got really low health. Oh, the Visage birds! Oh my god! Just barely getting the kill there. Oh wow, that was insane. Okay, I'm not sure how that interaction actually worked. So looked like the Visage birds maybe helped the stun, but he still got the cull off. That was intensely weird. Very strong fight, a lot of scrap coming out there. OD not getting to drop the hammer, unfortunately, because he hasn't skilled it up, which is, I guess standard for the OD laning phase. But the fight is essentially they've swapped around. Visage taking the top net worth, Wraith King not far behind him. Wraith King did die that fight, which is really quite bad. He didn't use reincarnation, which is good. It means he did have to die for it, but it does mean that if he hits level 12 in before the next fight, you'll have a much shorter cooldown on that. It's essentially almost halved, which is really important. On the flip side though, if reincarnation had triggered and they'd fought 240 seconds later, he'd be fine. So it's up to you. It's 50-50. So each hero just basically getting their own. Legion Commander's dropped down on the net worth a little bit here. She has got a Blink, which is basically all she needs. Blink Phase, which is a pretty interesting build. Blink Phase is very, very common in pubs. Going for the XP gain talent, just so she can push a little bit further and get that levels quite quickly. Basically, this helps your moment of courage really well, whereas the opposite one is Treads, where you can Tread switch, manage your stats better, and then get a lot of attack speed boost instead. Okay, nice call coming out there from the Axe, basically going to secure the kill on the Pugna, which is kind of the thing that I was saying before with the duel. Okay, looks like the courier might go down here. Yep, okay, Crystal Maiden going to get their courier kill, and next just running around. Oh wait, what? Oh, okay. Sorry, Crystal Maiden's just really, really weak right click. I thought she just missed that. Okay, so the bird's basically going to guarantee the kill on. Oh no! Okay, so a lovely Axe call, counter initiation coming in, easy pick off on the line, but then again, duel going off and killing the Axe. The next OD gonna go down from the Soul Assumption. Visage just being a beast here. God, he's overpowered right now. This is exactly what you want off out of Visage. Solar Crescent, absolutely massive amounts of damage coming out of him. So Soul Assumption is king right now, and a really good Visage play coming out here, and Drow play for the Gust. Nice counter initiation by the Axe in that fight, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough. So unfortunately, we're not seeing everything here, but the Legion Commander got a nice blink duel off. So the initial fight started in a sort of poor manner for the Radiant team, but then Visage got into a good position and didn't actually get didn't get too badly caught out of position by the Axe, and essentially moved on to just destroy the entire team with Soul Assumption, which is so powerful. Okay, so level 2 reincarnation, this is huge basically. This means that every 140 seconds, Wraith King is going to want to be fighting. And once he gets up to level 16, level 18 I think it is, when he gets up to level 3, basically he's just going to be really powerful. Okay, now Visage got to be a bit careful. He doesn't see the Nyx coming in, and so he's just going to die and feed gold. Ooh, that's not actually a lot of gold. I was thinking a lot more gold was going to come from that. They do get the tower though, so they are definitely going with their push strat, and Drow's just wailing on the tower bottom here, so it looks like they're going to get 2 towers. Drow has to be a bit careful. Axe does have Blink, and Crystal Maiden is coming in, but nicely played from the Legion Commander, just sitting back just in case, because if she does get rooted, she can be purged, and if she does get blinked on, the Lion's Head to prevent the Axe from doing much else. OD and Nyx Assassin just taking a shrine there real quick. They should probably go for this tower. It's quite low on health. They should really just go for it. I mean, they've got the Fortify, and looks like, yeah, no, Axe going to get a nice deny there. Drow Ranger going for a Dragon Lance, a really powerful item on the Drow. Gives a nice attack range, nice stats, just generally a good item. Maybe she'll go for the Force Staff. Force Staff is quite powerful, or she might move into Quick Yasha for farming speed. It's really her choice. Pugna getting a decent bit of aggression going top here. Now the Wraith King's got to be careful, yeah, because the Wraith King can actually die and proc his thing, and then he could just go again because the damage combo from these Visage and Pugna is absolutely insane. Looks like Drow and Lion going to be here bottom. I don't think they can see the Nyx. Can they see the Nyx? No, they can't see the Nyx. Doesn't look like it. No Sentry Wards run, and so Nyx is just going to be hunting. And this is what the dire side want to do. The boys on the Goon really want to do this. And it looks like our Wraith King is actually just going to go down here. Nice counter initiation from the Axe here, allowing the Wraith King to come back up, but he's got to run because that's a really powerful combo, and they could still get the kill there. Oh, lovely combo coming out there from the Pugna, but looks like he's overstaying his welcome too. Yeah, it looks like the Pugna is just definitely going to go down here. Really strong counter initiation from there. Once the CM had even rocked up, they basically just needed to ward and run back because they triggered the ult from Wraith King, and so that's one of the teamfight ults down. And the OD ult's on cooldown, and the Crystal Maiden just never uses their ult. So yeah. And then what they want to do now is group and just push, essentially force the team fight that the Dire don't have, and just take a couple towers while they're doing it, because it's like, oh, we got 50 seconds to take a tower, we can do that easy, and just we'll take the tower. Looks like Visage in a really bad position here. Do not envy him. He's probably, oh, nice stun from the birds coming out there, and then the Soul Assumption to just basically finish off, but he is gonna go down here. Axe not stealing the kill, letting his carry get it. What a good support there. So Legion Commander also really good at pushing with the Moment of Courage. And she's got to be careful because she's taking a lot of damage. And OD's here. Oh, nice blink and save there. So she probably could have died there a little bit if OD had come in. He doesn't have his Astral, but still would have been close. Oh, nice pick off from Lion. Strong magic damage. Axe's #1 weakness. Lion not being greedy and not going for the bounty rune. Good choice. He probably could have died doing that, but it's kind of worth it as a support. OD taking a bit of damage against the melee creeps. Sorry, jungle creeps. Looks like we've got a pretty scrappy, even game, I have to say. Look at the net worth graph, it's just sort of bouncing over. It was heavily in favor of the Dire at the start, and you can sort of see this, and then it hasn't really done anything, and it looks like we've got a fight going on here. Pugna getting a nice Decrepify off, and Crystal Maiden got to feed a bit of damage here, so nice kill and damage going the way of Legion Commander. The kill going towards Pugna, who's much needed and much deserved. Looks like Pugna's probably going to go for a Scepter straight off the bat. I would like to see him go for the Aether Lens, I think it is. Looks like he's got a Ring of Health and probably Recipe on the Courier or something like that. Aether Lens basically just is so powerful because he does pure magic damage. It also increases mana pool and gives him a bit of regen. Really strong item to pick up. So, like, the thing is, it may be going towards the favor of the Dire side here a little bit, but not by much. Not enough to really warrant anything. And the Armlet picked up on Legion Commander, that's a strong pickup there. That'll basically allow duels to be much more powerful, and she can duel the OD without worrying about it. Now, personally, I would have gone for a Blade Mail. Blade Mail does sort of, on average, give you more damage, specifically in duels. OD will kill himself, Axe will kill himself, and Wraith King probably won't. You generally don't want to duel the Wraith King because you trade ult for ult and he comes back. And there's a lot of scribbling going on the map. I think they just want to come in here and push this tower. So I feel like a Blade Mail would have been a better pickup here, essentially, just because the amount of damage you'll be absorbing. But Armlet is still a really strong pickup. Looks like she's going Armlet and Deso. She essentially is just going to go for the whole I'm going to tank and basically outlast you in the fight and hopefully win that way. Conor McGregor got to be a bit careful here. They are going on the OD, but there's a Nyx coming in from the back and there's a nice pickup on the OD. Really well played there. They do lose the tower. Wraith King sitting in the bottom there, really well played on him by not going in. He looks like he's going for the Radiance build. Actually, no, he's going for Armlet. He should probably go for Radiance. He's got enough gold for that. And the enemy team is not very strong, so Radiance would actually be a strong pickup here. Drow just getting a little bit of farm, and Nyx Assassin hiding in the trees. Wow, HY would be so proud of him.
This'll come in handy.
Huh. So it's an interesting match, basically. Very, very scrappy, very fighty. OD not doing as well as you'd hope, and oh, nice pick up there from the Visage. Just Rod of Atos plus Solar Crest equals overpowered. Nice counter initiation from the Axe. Basically, dude, you're being like Axe being MVP when the team's getting caught out, and allowing the Wraith King to not actually feed anything except for maybe a Bloodstone charge or possibly some dual damage, if so. Next Assassin coming on the back, really well played. Next has got some great positioning in this game. Problem is, they don't have a gem or some sentry wards, and you can't afford to get gem or sentry wards, I feel like, on this team just yet. Not a gem anyway, because they could kill you so easily, but sentry wards definitely would be essential. The Visage, that's the thing, you go on Visage, and you unfortunately, you bring the hate. Yeah, you've got the Visage ready, and he's just going to come in, and he's going to get stunned up by nice counter initiation there from the Pugner, and it looks like we've got the a line going down just on the Radiant team. Soul Assumption from the Visage just destroying our nice Astral Prism in there, saving the Radiant team, but he's probably going to, oh, nice blink out. So friendly Astral, they're just basically saving his life. Drow has found the next assassin. It looks like he might get a kill. She has to sort of kite this, because if he's close, she doesn't actually do that much damage. She relies on the passive a lot. Nice root coming there from the Visage, and by Crystal Maiden just feeding away. Visage has to be a little bit careful because he's going to get stunned, but that's really it. I mean, the Visage birds are absolutely insane, and yeah, really strong pickup coming in. I love the fact that the Radiant team are actually using their heroes to the best of their abilities. So Visage is basically this hero that you just want a ton of damage done, and Stroud does a ton of damage, so they are pushing. They don't have all the towers yet. They've gotten top, and they've got more towers than the Dire team do. But the best part about it is they can push at any stage. They've got a huge push lineup, and so what they're doing right now is saying, hey, look, our heroes are really strong early. Let's actually use this because we can push the Drow late and also the Legion Commander late. We can fight them there because the Wraith King's got a lot of farm. And there's a nice... Ooh, unfortunately, they saw him. They saw the Blink duel coming in. It looks like Legion Commander probably going to go down here. A little bit too greedy, and it's probably going to get a chop. Although there might be a counter kill coming out on the Wraith King here. He's nearly got his ult up, so that would have been a huge kill from the Visage. But unfortunately, Visage getting a bit too aggressive here. He's not unkillable, and he probably is going to go down. Yeah, he's going to go down. The Bird's trying to get a counter kill on the OD there. Unfortunately, just going to feed their lives away, get a nice easy 100 gold. That's just a pretty big swing. Those are two of the highest net worths. So you can see the Radiant, they do have a massive advantage actually right now. But I can't wait to see at the end of that fight and see the gold swing lead, because I know there's at least 200 to 300 gold just swapped that way. Sorry I didn't get to see the fight recap, but a little bit sluggish there. Sorry, that's my bad. But essentially, yeah, OD, really well played. Just if you precast the Astral, as soon as Legion gets into range, you're facing that way, and she just gets sort of put in a really bad spot. If she had got that duel off, that probably would have been a bit different, because they... Oh, okay, easy pick off on the Lion, yeah. Really well played by the Axe, nice call. Smoke for a Lion, it's a kill, so it's worth it, but you can't really push. You want to get a smoke for a Drow, or smoke for a 2 or something like that. Looks like they're going to push and take another tier 1 here. This is extremely necessary. Ooh, nice blink out from the Legion Commander. Well played there. Very fast reaction times. Realizing that, hey, if I get caught out, this team fight is basically over, and they don't really have much. They're going to need her anti-push for 1, basically. This tower is probably going to go down, but they might be able to get it denied. That's the best part. Yeah, okay. It looks like the Dire team backing off and realizing, hey, Drow can push a bit faster than us, so we're going to be careful. Drow getting a blink. Looks like a lot of heroes have blinks on the side of the Dire team, and this is kind of what we kind of we foresaw at the start of the game. There's going to be a lot of blinking around, a lot of team fighting essentially. Now the blinks on every hero, I didn't really expect that. But if we just go for current gold, yeah, Wraith King is stocking up right now. He is just so stocking up. Looks like he did get that armlet in the end. I think that a Radiance might have been a better choice, but he was getting ganked a lot. The reason why I think Radiance is a slightly better choice, the miss chance is actually a bit more, I feel like, survivable, not to mention the damage output there. And if your team comes in with you and you don't get caught out of position, it's a much stronger pickup, but the armlet is the safer pickup. And Drow's just blinking out of there, kind of getting an interesting sort of sixth sense there, and just going, oh yeah, and see what's going on. Nick's probably going to get a quick gank on me. Axe and OD just farming up a little bit here. So we've got the top net worth is definitely going to the Midas, really fast, strong Wraith King pickup. So Wraith King's going to be the hardcore carrier on the team for the die, and if they can manage to pick him off, that's a large portion of the net worth gone, and then the game kind of evens out and leans way more towards the Radiant team. But the net worth actually, yeah, you can see it dropped down. That was after that fight where they threw about 1,000 gold to the enemy for, but too much greed. They got to remain and attack. A nice duel coming off there. See, and this is where Blade Mail will definitely come in, because he'd be dead now if it was Blade Mail. Blade Mail is extremely powerful against heroes that return damage to you, because you're tankier than them and you can kill them faster. So a Blade Mail would probably be a stronger pickup, I feel. The armlet is better for fighting, but I've never really been the biggest fan of the armlet. Ooh, unfortunately not going to get the deny there, and Pugner not being able to do much else there. If Pugner just straight up life drain channeled, that would have prevented the blink, but the team probably wasn't going to get in there in time. Oh, double damage on the Legion with an armlet. That's actually you're gonna die, Axe. You can call all you want, that's probably dead. Oh, a nice purge there, instantly purging the CM route and getting a nice pick-off. Really well played from the boys. Lettuce, really well played. Realizing, hey, you know, we've got a double damage on Legion, that's extremely powerful. Using a lot of their spells and using not really any ults, because they don't have ults except for duel, and getting some decent kills. The OD pick-off was huge, the Axe pick-off was just, you know, icing on the cake, and then the Crystal Maiden pick-up is just because she's a Crystal Maiden and she's, you know, standing around. This is the point where Crystal Maiden just turns into food for Visage, Legion, and Drow. Pugner as well, sort of a little bit. Okay, Legion has to be a bit careful if the slam comes down. Yeah, okay, so nicely timed there. And the Desolator coming up on the Legion Commander, basically going for this hard right-click, sort of one of those carries that's relying on your team a lot, which is actually a pretty good sense because the team does seem to be a little bit more focused on the Radiant side, because Radiant essentially, whenever they fight, they seem to all be ready to fight there, and Drow going for the BKB, that's a brilliant pickup, really well played here. If she went for anything, like I suggested possibly going for a Farming Manta, but a Farming Manta here would be almost like just a death sentence, because of the next Wraith King stun. Wraith King's gone Radiant as well, so that's less damage. The Crystal Maiden is pretty much pure magic, and the OD's right click, which is probably the biggest one, because the OD, if he gets a large amount of right clicks on you, you're agility hero, so you just pop with the ultimate. Looks like Legion Commander just baiting out a bit of an attack here. Now the thing that they have to be careful about is, yeah, they can go on the Legion, she's got the Aegis, she can purge a lot of stuff, but if they're not careful, and any hero gets close to her, a couple of moment encourages, and she got wrecked face. She's pretty powerful. She doesn't actually have a lot of damage, and this is sort of the result of her item choices. Blade Mill is usually one of those ones where you go for massive damage, and you don't really rely on your team to do the rest of the work, where you're basically just going in and saying, I'm going to duel you 1v1 and I'll take you on. The Visage is going for a really just stock standard build. The Rod of Atos is extremely nice, I love this. Basically it holds them in place, and you just wail on them. The Solar Crest is just a thing that Visage buys, and will always buy. Okay, that's a bit of a bad positioning there from the boys on the dire side, because the Maiden just going to feed damage easy peasy. Really good realization there, going, yeah, if I pick off the Nyx, maybe this might not work as well, but the Crystal Maiden is basically free damage. Nyx is slightly more important, but Crystal Maiden prevents pushes with her wave clear and her ultimate. Looks like they're just going to say, screw you, we got a better push lineup and you can try if you want. This isn't going to work, and they do. They've got a Desolator up on the Legion Commander and an Armlet. Strong push coming out. Oh, nice counter initiation from the Axe there. Looks like the Legion Commander's probably going to go down here, pop the Aegis. And there's a huge amount of damage coming out there, so this is basically feeding Visage's Soul Assumption. Nyx is invisible, Legion Commander is actually okay. She did pop the Aegis, but oh, they have to be careful because the OD is actually coming in, and there's a nice purge coming out there onto the Visage. Oh, and then the Wraith King pops as well. He's still going to come back, and the Drow's going to go down, unfortunately, which is a massive portion of their damage gone. Visage has to be careful. Legion Commander getting a dual, easily kill on the, kill dual feed for the, Legion Commander, but unfortunately they're going to go down, and this is the problem with the team fight from the dire side. Once that team fight starts kicking in, you have to force as many ults as you can before the team fight. So once they started coming back into it, Crystal Maiden ult, OD didn't even use his ult, Axe for the counter initiation, and then the Nyx Assassin running around and just being a pain in the ass. Wraith King popped his ult, but this is only a short cooldown and he comes back to life. He wants to pop his ult as much as possible. It helps his team a huge amount. So it looks like the boys on the die are going to go for that nice counter push after just wiping him with the team. So what actually needs to happen now is it's not really too late, but it is getting to the point where it's, you know, you got to be careful, because the Wraith King, he pops his ult and he doesn't actually care. He's just going to keep running back at you, and they're getting to the point where they're quite farm now. And you saw that with the OD essentially being able to right-click down the Visage and absolutely start dominating the Visage. And you can see Wraith King just has a huge net worth advantage, and the OD is actually catching up now. The boys on the Radiant side are sort of dropping down. They kind of have to decide, hey, look, our item choices we got to start working on our item choices here, and start countering them. So the BKB on the Drought has been finished now, so they should probably go for exactly another fight now. I know that you're probably demoralized from the last fight, but they're mostly going to have most of their ultimate done, if not anything, the Crystal Maiden cooldown, and they're going to be a little bit confident to spread out. Probably want to also get a gem and some detection for the Nyx Assassin. Nyx, he's extremely powerful because he's stealth. That's really it. Nyx Assassin, if you can see him and you can initiate on him, he is just meat. If Legion gets a nice duel off on him, they just retreat and wait. and then duel comes back off cooldown in 60 seconds, and then they fight again, and they duel another one, and then it's pretty much this permanent 5v4, no matter what they do, unless they buy back on a hero. In that case, then that hero loses a lot of gold, and a buyback is not worth it if you can't get there fast enough. Ooh, nice pickup coming here from the OD, a nice Black King bar just to prevent silence from the Drow, just all damage from Pugna for about 10 seconds, Lion's damage pretty much, and Visage's damage as well, because Soul Assumption, he's realizing is hurting him a lot in the fights, but if he just wanted to block Soul Assumption, he possibly could have gone for a Lincoln's or something like that, maybe. But, okay, so Visage has got a Scepter, which is really powerful, so Odie's not even free, he's not worried. He can pop his BKB and absolutely fine. Visage is still an extremely big threat in the team fight. Massive amounts of damage coming out from him. He's got 3 birds now. With the Drow Aura, it's just going to pummel, just huge damage. Terrible, terrible damage coming out from the Visage. Here's got the Pugna, he's got the Aether Lens and the Scepter, so Pugna also does a lot of magic damage from a distance, and that's kind of the thing that Dire has to work on, is if they get perfect positioning, which I'm not saying is have the worst positioning, but if they get good positioning, oh, and it looked like they think the illusion is real. Yeah, that's not a real illusion. I'm sorry, that's not a real hero, that's definitely an illusion. But if the positioning on the boys on the Radiant side is better than on the Dire, the boys on the Radiant side will have a much bigger advantage, and they kind of need to do that. It's not like they have a choice, they have to be in a better position, otherwise the team fight from the Dire will just stomp them. The kill score is even, but the actual net worth charts you can see is moving back towards the Dire, so they've lost their net worth advantage. Oh, and there's a nice stun coming out there from the Nyx, and the Drow instantly going to silence and pop the BKB, which is not good because the Axe is going to come in and call straight away, and there's a nice counter initiation from the Pugna. That's not going to do anything. The Drow's caught out of place. Pugna's getting smashed. Lion Stun not going to do anything. BKB, bro. And Axe going to miss the cull, but definitely going to get the kill and the pick off there. Looks like Pugna's the only one left, and yeah, Pugna's probably going to go down. Visage sort of in a really bad world of hurt, and Pugna, oh, okay, Pugna gonna just TP out, really well played there. Nice, easy TP out to the tier 2 for some reason. Yeah, he's gonna give a bit of a giggle there. So this is the problem. Visage is kind of falling out. He's still scary in teamfights, there's no doubt about that, but BKB does counter him for the 10 seconds, and for those 10 seconds, the Dire side are essentially gods. They can do whatever they want. Crystal Maiden could die, Nyx could die, and everything. But you still got an OD wailing on you. A Wraith King who just isn't going to die and has a Radiance plus a Blade Mail. So if you decide to go on him, you're going to die before he does. He is essentially the epitome of come at me bro right now. He comes back to life, he Blade Mails, and then he comes back to life again, and Blade Mails again, and you have to do that twice. He's also got an Armlet, which is quite a powerful pickup on this hero. They don't have much push power, like, all 5 of them are extremely powerful. Yes, they can push towers quite well, but there's no Desolator, there's no Assault Cuirass coming out, but I expect to see that. Yeah, it looks like he's got it queued up. Oh, okay, nice. Visage Birds getting the easiest pickoffs of their life. A little rat coming out here. Visage just having a bit of a giggle about that. Yeah, so they can easily do this, and this is kind of what they want to do. They want to start going, okay, look, we can't team fight you guys anymore. You're actually too powerful, and it's past that point. So it's past 30 minutes. The Radiant team has not pushed their advantage to a point where they're just insanely farmed. There's not a huge amount of dual damage on the Legion Commander. Normally you'd go normally I'd go Blink, Blade Mail to Treads or something and then just tank up, just so that I could guarantee to win every single duel, and then just become this unstoppable tyrant with just huge damage and huge survivability and just right click everyone down. You'd probably go toe to toe with the Wraith King at that point. Now the problem is though that the team on the Radiant didn't actually get a huge enough advantage that they could just continuously bully them, so they're going to have to play this the rat game, where they're just not going to engage in the team fights and just, you know, hope that the Dire side doesn't just make a death ball push or catch one of them off guard, because if one of them gets caught off guard, that's game, you're just done, buddy. You're going to need to buy back, and it looks like Roshan will respawn in 40 seconds. Nice, I love this little Roshan timer. This is awesome, well done, Valve. There's also not a lot of detection out from the Radiant side. They do have one over here where nobody is, and there's a nice little Hex and everything coming out, and it looks like they're just not barely going to get the Axe, and the Axe kills all the birds as well, so Lion is going to die. Axe not going to die, unfortunately. If they had got the Axe kill, maybe that would have been good. Oh, OG just messing up and astraling himself, so well played there. Next Assassin basically just taking off a quarter life from the Pugna because he decided to press W. Wraith King going to just miss his Wraith Fire Blast there a little bit, and it looks like Yeah, Visage got to be careful here. He's a little bit out of position there. Legion Commander definitely in the right position. Probably doesn't want to duel, and yeah, Wraithking just going to right-click it down. BKB's out from every other hero. Legion Commander going down to the burst damage of Breathfire Blast. A little bit of a misplay there. No, you... Okay, so a little bit of misclicks coming out from both sides. Nexus Assassin going to pick off the... Okay, so Odie just wiping the floor clean with the Drow, and the Wraithking got to be a little bit careful here. He doesn't have his ultimate, but he's still stronger than both of those heroes, and if Axe comes in, they're just dead. So no heroes lost for the Dire side, which is really, really important. If you look at the fight recap, you can see basically that, yeah, it's just a massive swing towards the Dire side. And they're just hunting down the Lion, who can't blink, doesn't have blink, and is just burning down from the Radiance. Easy pick up from the Nyx, basically. So this is why I kind of give it to the Dire side a bit later game. Boys and the Goon have got a much stronger lineup, but Nyx Scepter is disgusting. Just sort of siege up, kind of turn into a StarCraft 1 unit where you're a siege tank. But Mana Burn is extremely powerful late game, large amounts of nukes on there. OG's really strong late game, Wraithking really strong late game. Crystal Maiden doesn't really do much, but she does a lot towards the actual start there. Axe just basically just helped them get there. So really well played by the boys in the Dire, and it looks like it's probably this is one of those. It's not game yet, but it's close enough that essentially the Dire side's gonna have to mess up. If the Dire side does not mess up, sorry, just yawning. If the Dire side doesn't mess up here and they just play really well, then there's really no way for the Radiant to come back into this except for in the rack game, which Visage has been trying to do, but Visage has to be a lot more careful about that. So he's kind of getting out of position now, and if they decided to go on him and pick him off, then they just take another set of racks. He's really the only thing that's keeping the Dire side a little bit scared, because they can just pick off two of the heroes quite quickly. Obviously, Soul Assumption is useless against BKB, but once the BKBs do run out, then you're actually okay. Looks like Wraithing just doing some decent farming up here, and so Visage is the highest net worth hero on the Radiant team, and he's doing pretty well as well. The two top heroes on the Dire side basically just are the two cores, the ones that you want to have farm. Odie had a pretty bad start, but he sort of came back into it really nicely. He didn't have a Midas or anything, he just sort of played pretty well. He had a few deaths, but he tried to rectify it as much as he could, and so they've got like this lane permanently going to be pushing in now, which is going to really help this, the Dire side out. Legion Commander, Drow, and Pugner are all next, but they're all within the same boat. They're all in that sort of they're on the off-laner farm if you want. Drow should have a lot more farm than this, but she got absolutely dominated the lane. She did get a bit of free space after a while, but it just didn't really come to much. So this is where Legion Commander has to have like the blink duel, and it's a really perfect combo, and they get the kill on the Odie. This is huge, and then they pick off the Nyx straight away. This is what you need to do. Get the initiation off on him, and now they've got to be a little bit careful, but they also have to be really aggressive. So they have to force this buyback from Odie. Odie did have a Midas, sorry, my bad, I missed that. So he did manage to catch up to farm, but essentially just this little swing here has managed to push them up to a point where they can threaten racks, and they need to pick off this range racks first, just because they need to get something on the board. And it looks like they're going to go straight for the range racks and then the melee racks, which is exactly what you want to see. Yeah, it looks like the melee racks is just going to go down, and a smart move from the boys on the Dire, essentially not using the fortification, because they know that if they fortify then that's basically 2 sets of racks guaranteed. So now at least they can have a chance to stand to rectify this. And a nice counter initiation coming from the Pugner there, and Wraithing gonna go down, which you want to die. You want to die. It looks like he's gonna keep focusing the Visage. Unfortunately, you really don't want to focus the Visage. You want to go straight for anyone but the Visage, because he's got tons of damage. Axe gonna get picked off by the Pugner. Pugner getting life drained and then reverse life drain. Nice duel coming out there from the Legion Commander. Easy pick off on the Crystal Maiden. Axe spying back. Wraith King's still alive. Gonna come into it. Gonna get a nice pick off. Oh, and unfortunately, just not gonna make it. But Axe gonna come in with the cull, and that's what you gotta do. You gotta blink in, go pick off those easy kill heroes like the Pugner and the Lion and things like that. And Axe is gonna show them this is what happens when you stay too late. Oh, nice stun coming out there from Lion. Lion unfortunately TPing way too easily out there. Wraith King just getting a nice little talk of it. Wraith King, no mana cost, nice. 20% Vampiric Aura probably might have been a little bit better. Oh, Goon Sack, hey Zeus, will you be able to get the kill? No, you just won't be able to, but Axe will be able to battle hunger this. Axe will be able to battle hunger this. Axe, you should probably battle hunger this so that he doesn't get away. Okay, Axe just not wanting the battle hunger for some unknown reason. Pugner does have a blink, I believe. No, he doesn't have a blink. Okay, so he's fine. I guess maybe just taunting with him a little bit. We got OD going for the super farm carry build, where he basically goes to mana, armor, and intelligence. Probably would have gone for attack speed personally, but he's going for the super right click damage build there, which is perfectly fine. Just going to be pushing top here with Wraith King. Wraith King getting a bit more farm, quite a bit. He's got 7k in the bank. He needs to use this on an item so that he doesn't die in fights. Probably might want to get rid of the boots, put boots of travel on or something on there, and then roll into like a monkey king bar or a desolator or something ridiculous, so that you could just hit them crits and you just kill the heroes. Because you got damage in the radiance, and the armlet is actually quite useless. You might want to swap that out for a heart or something like that. Just have that permanent strength buff the whole time. His armlet is amazing on the hero, but it's really a mid-game item. Blade Mail still actually has a lot of uses, because you can a lot of the damage that you take will just be reflected to the enemy. Looks like the Dire team going to go for Roche, basically just nice little net advantage coming up here, 6,000. It did swing quite a bit, so if we just check this out, so the Dire side kind of didn't throw their lead away, the Radiant brought it back into their favor with that really lovely smoky gank there, and just easy pick off on the OD, who does not have a reincarnation, so easy pick off on the OD, and then going straight for the axe, which is, the Nyx, which is a really strong pickup, because that was basically like your main right click team fighter, other than the Wraith King. Wraith King just blinks in and doesn't have the OD ult, and then the Nyx was basically that guy who was the pain in the team fight. So really securing that they don't have that team fight lead, not to mention just less heroes, and getting a nice easy set of racks. And essentially, I wonder if the Dire had possibly fortified, they maybe would have been able to save a tower or something, but it's not really worth dwelling on too much. Looks like the Dire side basically just saying, hey, let's go for the death push, essentially go as 5 once again, all our ultimate stuff, and nothing's too worrisome. Legion Commander has a TP here. She probably wants to get Boots of Travel. The entire Radiant team would probably want to get Boots of Travel at some point. Move into it. Probably not Lion, probably too poor. But go for Boots of Travel and essentially just go like, oh hey, you're all down bottom. Okay, quick, we're going to take your range racks. And just pick off the range racks and get out. Smoke and leave. Because that would force all the TPs back, and the second you see them all TPs coming in, you just blink out and disappear. And then you've got a lot more space on the map, essentially, and you know where they are. Because they currently don't actually know where the Dire side are. They don't know that they're walking back, and it's a nice little Visage birds coming in. Range Rex does not heal, so they can eventually get a nice pick off. Ooh, okay, this might be a bit of a feed here. Oh, okay, just barely not getting all 3 birds. If Axe had gotten all 3 birds, that would have been a huge pick-off. Look, hey, he's actually going to get all 3 birds. Yep, all 3 birds just going away. Visage basically feeding 300 gold there. A little bit of a miss micro there. You generally want to run them across the trees because it's a bit harder to see them. But yeah, it's a bit hard, dude. I can't play Visage, so I'm not even going to judge. Visage going for the Orchid of Doom, so he's just going to go for the Bloodthorn. Really strong pickup here, going to negate the Radiance from Wraith King in the sense of the Mischance, which is actually quite powerful. Now the Mischance actually applies to all enemy heroes, not him, so he doesn't have 17% evasion, they all have Miss, so it's almost as if you kind of want to disable him in a more another aspect, but still, Bloodthorn really strong, just huge damage coming out of Visage, so that Blade Mail pickup should probably just stick around, but unfortunately he's just going to get rid of that, keep the armor. Abyssal Blade coming out from the Wraith King. Abyssal Blade, very strong pickup. Probably want to get seriously Boots of Travel, man. Like, not a bad item, really powerful. You'll be able to teleport around the map and get a lot more pickoffs with it. The mobility of Dire side is kind of lacking because they have to all group together. It looks like Wraith King is going to come in here. You can also disable the blinks with the Radiance really well. So if he disables a blink, he can essentially just chase the hero down and force a fight. Looks like the team's just sort of not wanting to engage a bit here and just let the net worth sort of deviate themselves. Wraith King's still ahead by quite a bit, but he is sort of... The lead is being closed by Visage quite quickly, and Legion Commander, she farms, man. She's a pretty good farm hero. You gotta be careful as well, because she has almost the same amount of farm as the Wraith King, other than the Abyssal Blade, which is a huge item, mind you, yeah. But essentially, when it comes down to a duel, you don't get to use your Abyssal Blade, so... In a duel, actually, Legion Commander might possibly beat out the Wraith King just with that 1v1 duel damage that she's got currently right now. So if she picks up a bit more duel damage, she's basically becoming this ridiculously strong hero. Now, she looks like she's going for a Shadow Blade. I don't think this is a good pickup right now. The pickoff is essential for them, yes, but a Shadow Blade is not really the answer. You want to go for a better, just sort of positioning. Oh, and it looks like Pugna in a bit of trouble here. Oh, nice little Tigrify. It looks like Odie's just standing there. Wraith King getting the easy pickoff on the Drow. That's exactly what they wanted. Pugna going to go down to this Axis Berserker Core, not Berserker Core, sorry, Battle Hunger, and then they're going to get a nice pickup here. Easy kill. And the Lion's is going to go down. So that's 3 heroes down. Best time ever to push. You've got the Drow down, so there's no real damage coming out. You can't do the birds push, split push because you'd have to resummon them, which Visage does have, but there's no Drow, so there's no real sort of teeth to this. Oh no, and a brilliant call coming from the Axe. Basically just going to wipe the birds and force the resummon. So essentially, Dyers are just going to be here and just push them. Oh, nice pick off from the Visage, realizing, hey, let's go for the small heroes and not the weak ones. I mean, let's go for the small, weak heroes rather than the big ones. Okay, and it looks like they might get a kill on the OD, and they do get the dual damage as well. That's huge. The Undying going to go down. Pugna keeping alive. Well played by the Pugna. Just keeping the Legion Commander alive during that whole duel, and the Wraith King is still up, and so is the OD. He's come back, but the OD does go down due to the fucking Visage. Visage just dealing out the deeps here, man. Son, get an MKB. And it looks like Visage is going to be able to pick up the Wraith King, out-microing him, outplaying him. Well played. Brilliant defense from the boys at Lettuce here. Now, Legion Commander just going to queue the creeps to get a bit of boost of movement speed there to see if she can pick up the Axe. Unfortunately, not going to be able to do it. Now, she is going for that Shadow Blade still. I'm not so sure about this. This is basically for pick-off so they can ensure they get one hero. And it does sort of benefit them, but the fact is that before now, the Dire actually had quite a few sentry wards around just to de-ward. Look like they're not going to keep doing that, but late game Shadow Blade is one of those things where it's like, oh, she has a Shadow Blade now? Oh, we've got plenty of money, let's just buy detection. It's kind of that, you buy it for that 1-0. It's very similar to a double damage where it just catches the opponent off guard because it's like, oh shit, the Legions just dueled us, you know. Buy OD, no buyback, whatever. We don't have an OD to defend, we just lose game. So it's a really strong pickup. I like it, but I also don't like it because it's throwing a lot of money into an item that has a shelf life essentially. Now early game it's really strong because it forces lots of detection, it forces the enemy to stay in base, but right now I don't think it's that great of a pickup. Okay, an instant buyback from the Wraith King, just realizing, yeah, we cannot fight this. And popping a couple of wards, and easy split push coming here from the Radiant. Really strong pickup here. Now this is exactly what you want to see. The boys on Lettuce really well played. Drow does pop the BKB, so she's not going to be able to be stopped. And Crystal Maiden does unfortunately stop that. And a nice pickup on the duel there from the Legion Commander, but they're going to get another set of top racks. Well played by the boys on Lettuce. You got to rat it. You got to rat it. And unfortunately, it's a little bit of a poor play coming out there from the Dire. Not in terms of not being able to defend against the racks, but sort of being a bit too aggressive in their fight, and they had 3 down. They had to sort of they had to go a bit faster, and they're going to get the pick off on the Drow here, and then the a little bit of a drain there from Pugnut. Nexus that's just going to say, nah, no mana for you. OD going to get an easy pick off on the line. So you got 3 down once again. You need the boots of travel. So OD finally realizing you need the boots of travel here. Wraith King kind of needs those boots of travel. Like, just buy them and use them. They're insanely powerful, and they'll be able to give you split push. Because you could just teleport the tower right now, rather than wasting all this time, and you could probably have taken this tower in that time. That's why you need to get boots of travel against a push lineup. If there's a push lineup, boots of travel is basically a stronger item than an actual pulsable item. That's in my opinion, of course, but I find that it has a lot of merit because you can essentially move around the map much quicker. Boots of Travel is extremely powerful, and they've been buffed consistently. Now, they are going to get down here in time, and it looks like they're going to get a nice pick off from the Legion Commander here. Bissell just to secure the kill there. Visage Birds being a pain. But they could have been here this time before. And Legion Commander are going to have to be a little bit careful. She doesn't want to go in here and feed dual damage and, you know, give up that dieback. She did buy back a little bit preemptively. She can do a bit, but they're going to get this rack. So it's a trade of racks. Oh, the courier almost going down. That looks like the boots of travel for Dunner's Pro there. Okay, yeah. So Axe going to go for the boots of travel, but the Wraith King still has them, which I'm still a bit disappointed in. Either way, they're playing pretty well. Wraith King, if he gets... okay, so the BKBs are all being popped out here. Nice duel coming out there. Really well played from the Legion, just going straight for the duel on the OD. Now, this may not result in a kill, but it does disable the OD for that period of time. Unfortunately, that's a dieback on the Legion Commander, so this is kind of why I was a little bit skeptical about the... Oh, God, that's a dieback. Sorry, no, that's a death on the Drow. Drow's going to buy back, come back and fight. She's only got a Lion, so there's not really going to be too much that they can do here with a Burrowed Nyx. They can't really do anything because the Visage is dead. Once the Visage is dead, that's your big team fight. And it looks like his Megas is going to come out from the boys in the Goon squad. So basically a sort of a swing there where the Radiant sort of almost came back into it, and they nearly had it. They had the advantage. They got 1 set of racks. So it's not GG yet because there's still 1 set of racks up on only 1 as well. So there's a bunch of the buybacks coming out. Pugna Ward doing work, man. Okay, that's really doing work. Not really achieving too much, and so Dry really wants to just turn around and get this nice. Okay, Pugna essentially going to secure that kill. They still have no sentry wards. This Nyx is basically roaming around, just giving plenty of information, and there's still 5 up. There's no way, yeah, and there goes the call, and essentially that is a dead Crystal Maiden. Probably going to follow up with the Pugna kill as well, and yeah, that's just GG right there. Looks like the boys in the Goon are going to take this quite convincingly, and then we'll have another game coming up after this with the boys in the Goon versus Pussy Squad again for that final one there at the lower bracket, which will basically determine who's gonna go on to versus the, I think it's Salterize, so one of the two. Yeah, it's who's gonna versus the last bracket knockdown. So well played to the boys in Goon there, winning in pretty, I wouldn't say decisive victory at all. It was they had a large net worth lead, but it basically swung too much, and it was a great game. Lots of fights. Love lots of fights and games. So I'll pop this VOD up on this server there, and I'll talk to the captains, and I'll sort out when the next game is. And cheers for watching. GG. Good games to both players, both teams. We saw basically that the Goon Sack essentially came into their own a bit better towards the mid game, and there was quite a few points where the Radiant team with Lettuce came into it, and they sort of just essentially stomped, and they had those opportunities to take it, and they took the opportunities. Whereas I feel like the boys in the Goon still a little bit rusty on that, taking their opportunities there and not really itemizing against the heroes, and rather just relying on pure skill there. So well played for the boys in the Goon for winning. They'll move forward and they'll play play Pussy Squad for the final one, and unfortunately that means Lettuce is knocked out of the tournament. But thanks for competing, and thanks for all the good games, and it was a really fun game to cast, a really fun game to watch, lots of scraps, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll pop a little bit of music on, and I'll upload this video pretty soon. So cheers for tuning in, and enjoy your game.